Darkcast Network. Indie pods with a dark side.
Warning. The following podcast may occasionally contain strong language and material that is not suitable for all ages. If you are easily offended, it is highly advised that you turn back now. However, if you're a degenerate, welcome, brethren. You've found your home.
Welcome to the Crime Diner. We are a Jersey podcast, and on the menu is a variety of true crime, cults, mysteries, historical hilarities, and sometimes victim stories. We do this within a Dinner with Friends theme. I'm Nidia.
I'm Dana.
I'm Cindy.
Last week we talked about Ed the Skull Murphy and his involvement in crimes and pride and
tomfoolery.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Like, he was a complicated character.
Entrapment.
Yeah. He bamboozled a lot of people and blackmailed them, but he also, helped push forward, like, pride and looking out for people in the community once he sort of got his act together. So
this week, I'm doing something a little different. We haven't, ever since I got medicated, we haven't covered
any of your atrocities.
Yes. I didn't want to say it. Okay.
I got you.
I didn't want it to any true crime, right? Well, in the sense of true crime, the truest of crimes, which is murder. Right.
Yeah.
So I go big.
So you're off your meds?
I'm not off my meds. Okay. I go big with this one. Okay. This was always a story that fascinated me ever since it happened.
Okay.
Because children killers give me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh, shit.
And so today I'm going to talk about the Broken Arrow murders.
Oh, I don't know about this, I don't think.
Oh, you will. Will.
I'm looking forward to it.
And let me just tell you, if you are even a little bit squeamish, children die in this. Yeah. This is a bad one.
So I'll see you guys next week.
Yes. But first, the food. Let us pray.
Let us pray.
Bless us, O patrons, for these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy donations through Patreon every month, under the power of the V Podcast.
Cult.
That looks like a stew and some kind of rice.
A risotto?
I made a mushroom risotto with Asiago instead of Parmesan. Oh. And that is chicken in a mustard sauce with asparagus and bacon.
Look, that looks fancy as fuck. God.
First of all, my mouth just watered. I had to slurp.
It looks delicious.
And it smells delicious. Now, let me ask you, what was the theme?
So, based on where the crime took place is in Oklahoma. Right. I found a Oklahoma food blogger.
Okay.
And so she's just based out in Oklahoma. Her blog is called Dishin' and Dishes.
Okay.
And she's just Oklahoma based. She's talks about Oklahoma and her recipes and all of that stuff. But that was just the inspiration. I just used her recipes.
Well, let's get a taste of Oklahoma, shall we?
Yeah. What's for dessert, though? Oh, they look like little... Are they cheesecake bottoms? Pies? No, they're...
No, it is just...
like a shortbread on the bottom?
Basically like black and white peppermint.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Like a cookie?
Peppermint.
Not a cookie. Just like a chocolate bar kind of thingy.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It looks like the bottom of a cupcake, sort of. Like a bottom, but not a top.
A little top, a little short.
A bottom, not a top?
Yeah, not bottom, but not a top.
Got it.
But it's got like a chocolatey crust on the top with a...
And this delicious drink?
And the drink is Oklahoma Cooler.
Ooh.
It is vodka, watermelon liqueur, Sprite, and cranberry juice.
Yum. All of my favorite individual things brought together.
Wow, you're having a great day today.
I am.
Let's dig in.
Yes. Food.
You loved it?
Oh my God.
That was a delicious meal.
That risotto was top 10 meals.
Yeah. The chicken was fantastic.
I mean, the chicken was sauce, so well seasoned.
Yeah.
A little too salty of a dish for me with the risotto was so fucking cheesy with the Asiago and the mushrooms and everything. That risotto was a meal in and of itself. The chicken... I would have liked to eat it with something a little more bland because it really competed with the risotto. And the fucking skin on it was toasted to perfection. I'm a skin person.
Yeah.
I'll eat that chicken skin.
She held it up and wiggled it.
Oh, I saved it for last. It was like, I saved it for last. I ate the whole chicken, saved it for last.
Yeah, yeah. It was fantastic. The mustard sauce
God.
with the little bits of asparagus that just like pop through of like a freshness.
Yes.
Really, really delicious.
Yes.
A fantastic meal.
But you know what? I could have even eaten it on like asparagus spears because you know, like they have like that like kind of blandish flavor.
Yeah.
That chicken on top of that would have been. She cut it up into little pieces and cooked it.
It was in
with
the sauce, yeah.
But I mean, that risotto though. I was like, I have one regret in life, and that was not getting more risotto.
Yeah, the thing about risotto is usually it is a meal in of itself. It's it was so good. Yeah, it was really fantastic.
That was amazing. But the chicken, I mean, we can't discount the chicken. The chicken was fucking delicious. So good.
I gotta say that risotto is my personal recipe, so I'm just gonna give y'all a basic recipe and say just Asiago with that risotto because it's not a recipe I give out.
Wow.
Grow up.
Whatever.
Some secrets have to remain with me. No, just a basic risotto. Just instead of Parmesan, I added Asiago.
I love Asiago.
Well, the dessert was more like an after dinner mint kind of situation.
Perfect because it was tiny. It's like a tiny little like a muffin, mini cupcake,
like a mini muffin, mini cupcake.
But it's like hard white chocolate
like
on the bottom,
like a peppermint bark.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
And some chocolate on top and broken up peppermints. It's delicious. It's perfect.
It's like
also from
perfect
the same
sweetness.
Also from the same blogger.
Okay.
Again, both meals, the mustard sauce chicken, and this were both from the same Dishin and Dishes blogger.
I'll probably be making the mustard chicken.
That was fantastic.
I'll probably be making that. And the risotto, since she won't give us the recipe, I guess I'll just have to have her make it.
You can even eat that chicken over like if it was just a regular dinner.
I mean,
like over like egg noodles or something.
Mashed
like just
potatoes. It goes over so many things.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put it on a bed of broccoli or
because
your most hated vegetable.
That sauce had like a ton of flavor.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't really heavy. It was that was up there. Probably top 10.
Yeah.
Definitely top 10.
Really, really
really,
flavorful.
really delicious.
But enough about that. How about those drinks?
Yeah, the drink literally tastes like a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah. I had to add a little club soda to mine because it was a little too sweet for me.
I put a little club soda in it too, but it is the most strange color.
Yeah.
Because
it's the color of urine.
When you say it's the color of like radioactive urine.
Like somebody that doesn't drink water urine.
Yeah, because when you say watermelon flavored,
right?
I was picturing pink or like a red drink of some sort.
Yeah.
And when I'm like, why is it yellow? Like, why is it that color? It is bright, like Mountain Dew yellow.
Yeah. And anybody that knows what a watermelon or melon liqueur is, Midori is a bright, thick, greenish color.
Oh, Midori. Okay. Yeah.
So, and then I added cranberry juice, and so you get the green, you get the cranberry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I was expecting a pink drink.
Yeah, I was just in my head when you say watermelon. Melon, it is kind of yellow in my brain or like orangey in my brain, but watermelon just feels red, and cranberry. I was expecting pink, but it is really sweet, really good. Not like, in my opinion, not too sweet. It's good. I throw a little club soda in it too, just because it's good that way.
Yeah.
But I love it. I think it's so good.
Very tasty. So tasty, really, really in tasty. Fact, that I had a lot of it, and now I'm feeling a little sleepy and cranky.
Well, you've been cranky since you got here.
Have I?
Yes,
just
ma'am.
A tad bit.
First you were hungry, now you're full, now you're sleepy.
Yeah, now I'm sleepy.
Just,
settle down.
Move along the line.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah. So, speaking of moving along the line, you have a story to tell us.
I wouldn't really call it a story.
Okay.
But so for the last, 27 months, I've been having problems with this fucking car, right?
Uh-huh.
So I've been driving all these different cars. Particularly, I've been driving my grandparents' cars because they don't really drive anymore and they need to be driven. So one day I drive my pop-ups, one day I drive my grandmom's.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I drive my girlfriend's car. So my girlfriend has a Prius, like a hybrid Prius.
Uh-huh.
And also, besides the fact that I'm having car troubles, I am not sleeping well.
Oh, no.
And so I feel like something's wrong with my whole body. The other day I was like, I think all of my body systems are like shutting down. Like something's wrong with me.
Why aren't you sleeping well? What do you mean?
So I have sleep apnea, and like it comes and it goes. And if I put a little bit of weight on, it's worse. If I lose it, it's a little bit better. If I'm exercising consistently, it's not that bad. There's all different reasons that like make it worse. And I think it's been really bad lately because I can feel it in my throat. This little, it feels like a little piece of skin is just like closing my throat. So anyway, I just haven't been sleeping well. So I'm working a lot more. So my body's hurting. I'm prepping for the summer. So I've been, trying to go to yoga, whatever. Anyway, none of that is the point. The point is I haven't been feeling great.
Okay.
I've been super tired. I've been achy. I've been cranky. I've been just all these things. So I was driving my girlfriend's car a couple weeks ago and I said, oh shit, your gas light's on. And she's like, oh, it's a battery car. You don't have to just get gas later. No big deal. And I was like, oh, okay. So the other day I really was hurting after work.
Hers is an electric car?
It's not fully electric. It's a hybrid.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. That comment just made me be like, okay, like the gas light came on and I was like, okay, I'll just get gas in the morning. Cause I literally had, as I was driving home, I had one hand over my left eye because my head was just like pounding so hard.
Really?
I had taken medicine, whatever, but I was just dead. Like I got home and I just laid on the couch and I went right to sleep. So
maybe you got the diabetes.
I think I have a little bit of sugar issue. There's lots of things happening. I'm dying. I don't know. So I lay on the couch. We watched Hamilton.
Again?
Yes, we had. Gage came out, sang a little tune with us. We had a nice night. I went to bed. I got up in the morning and she was taking me to my Pop-Up's truck.
Okay.
Which is literally, 3 miles from my house.
All right.
And she's like, what the fuck is wrong with my car? And I'm like, what's wrong with your car? And she's like, it's not going. And I'm like, I look over and she's like, is it out of gas? And I was like, no. I said,
fucking dummy.
You said it's battery operated. She's like, not completely.
I got questions.
Did you think she could wind up her car in the morning?
You didn't see the little gas light come on?
Yes, I did, but the way she was like, it's not a big deal. The other time, because it's battery operated, made me think that was fine. I don't know. I overestimated the battery power. And
it cannot ride on solely battery. That's what hybrid means.
Lesson learned. So we ran out of gas on my way to getting my Pop-Up's car. I, of course, felt terrible. Like we pulled into this dentist office and I'm like calling my son. He's not answering. I'm calling, everybody, trying to get somebody to come help me because my uncle lives around the corner. And I call my uncle. I'm like, where my car is. I'm like, is my car at least drivable? Can I just get to my car? And he's like, no, the whole dashboard's apart and whatever, the whole thing. I have to call my friend's husband, which is literally the bane of my existence because
you love him.
I do love him, but we have, turmoil. And he said,
you have a love-hate relationship.
I have a love-hate relationship with him. Yeah. And I said, I ran out of gas. Could you help me? And he said, how did you run out of gas? Which is an annoying question because I didn't get gas. That's how I ran out.
Well, you were in no place.
I was in no place, and I said,
argue with him.
I didn't. I said, well, I overestimated the battery power of the hybrid.
Right.
And you know what he said to me? He said, oh, sweetheart. God damn it. So he came to help me because he does love me. Got gas, got in my car.
Did he pat you on the top of the head?
No, because I would have carried him by his testicles to the gas station. So anyway, we get there and get gas in the car. No big deal. We get to my Nana and Pop-Ups. I switch into the truck.
Wait, how did you get the gas in the car? You had to get it in a tank?
I went over to my uncle's house around the corner, picked up a gas. He had gas in a gas. He's a mechanic.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, there's gas over there if you can just get on. I was not fucking walking. So we got gas, put it in the thing, went to the gas station, whole bit. Fine. Everything's fine. I was sort of hoping I was going to get out of work about it, but no such luck. Just moved my appointments back a little bit because it was they were regulars of mine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fine. So I get to work, and of course, my boss tells them, oh, she's having little car troubles. She'll be here in a half an hour, which was brave of her, but it did work out. And so I get there, and my regular, she's retired.
Okay.
She's like, what's wrong with your car? And I was like, well, I overestimated the battery power of a hybrid. And I just, whatever. I was like, I ran out of gas. The way this bitch cackled. And and then said, you have to tell about that on your podcast.
She knows about the podcast. I love her.
You have to tell about it on your crime podcast. And I'm not sure what she thinks this podcast actually is, because she's like, you could make it a story where they like murder someone, they try to get away, and there's no gas in their car. I guess she thinks I write true crime stories. I don't know what she thinks. And I was like, okay. And I was really upset about running out of gas, because obviously I haven't run out of gas in a really long time.
I've never.
And it's a thing I used to do a lot.
I think it's never for some people.
I had that happen once.
I used to do it all the time. Like, I mean, consistent. Like, I got all my friends to cut school one day, and then we got like 1 mile away from the school, and I ran out of gas.
Oh my!
I had to push my car and stuff.
No.
So like, my friends always make fun of me, and I was telling my girlfriend, I'm like, I'm pretty upset about this, because I said, no one can fucking know about this. I said, no one can fucking know.
No one's gonna know.
No one's gonna know. I said, no one can know about this, because they already post memes on my Facebook page about like why we can't have flying cars, because people like me will run out of gas and they'll fall out of the sky. And she kept laughing, and I was like, you have to stop laughing at me. It's not funny.
I ran out of gas one time. I did run out of gas one time. I knew that I had to stop at the gas station, so I was driving from the mall to the Wawa, the gas station there.
Yeah.
And my car was starting to sputter, and I turned as it was sputtering, and I turned and I got to the tank because I needed diesel gas.
Yeah.
Because that was the kind of car that I had. Just as I pulled into the pump, it went. And it stopped.
Yeah, it's the worst fucking feeling.
No, right in front of the fucking pump.
Thank God.
So I had a car rental, and so I was used to my car seeing the little light and being like, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
This little light turned on, and I was literally driving to the gas station when the light came on, and it was at the light, and the car died. And I could see the gas station was across the street of a major intersection.
Oh, no.
And so, of course, I had to get pushed into there. And it was a car rental, so I couldn't assess. You know, some cars...
You can turn them back on. You crank them on, it'll get you another like half a mile.
Some cars, just as soon as that light goes on, you've got no time. Yeah. It's done.
Yeah, that's this one did that.
This
one got us out of the street and into the dentist office.
Right.
You know, but it was not cute.
Well, not cute is me calling my husband happy as hell that I ran out of gas directly under the pump. And he was like, and you're proud of that?
You're like... It's like when you get like a 666 at the total at the store. Like, it's like, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
that's a talent. What are you talking about?
Right? I ran out of gas directly into the pump. Anyway, I made a mistake.
Okay.
That I had to
corner.
I had to. Yeah, this is I fucked up corner, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I work at a school.
What?
And I don't know if you know this about
I didn't know.
And so I have a hell called lunch duty with middle schoolers.
Okay.
And this is a time that they use to socialize. So they
a little chit chat.
So it was half day because it was parent teacher conferences, and so we dismissed them right from lunch. Right. So we had one student who they were all standing up. The 6th grade were all standing up, and so one of my coworkers said, "You guys have to sit down before we dismiss you, and we'll dismiss you, one table at a time, so it doesn't get, crazy as they're leaving." So one girl who was with her phone recording herself, and I told her to put her phone away. She didn't listen to me. So she's standing. She refuses to sit because, the rules apply to everybody but her.
Yeah, right.
So I said, okay, you can either sit or you can leave last. And those are your choices. And you have every right of making that choice.
Yeah.
All right. So she turns to my coworker and says, "Tell her to shut the fuck up."
Oh, God.
I had like a little blackout moment. I said, if you're going to tell me to shut the fuck up, tell me to my face, you little shit.
Oh, my God. Nydia.
Yes. And so one student, she didn't hear me because it was like so loud in there. One student that was like directly next to me was like, "I heard that, Miss Apollonia." And I was like, oh boy. So I dismissed the kids, and I was like, I'm going to have to go to my boss and tell her exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So I go to the office and tell on myself on the principal, right? So I was like, hey. I was like, hey, you look nice today. I was like, oh my God, that was like such a short day. Only 31 days left for school. How about that? And she goes, and I said, can I talk to you? We're standing out in the hall. And she's like, she's like, of course. And she's, what's up? What's going on? And I'm like, in your office? And we're walking she's like, sure. So we're walking to her office and it's like a narrow hallway. So I'm behind her. And I'm like, yeah, man, what about this weather? My God, we had such great weather and now
she's
it's
like,
raining.
listen, bitch.
Yeah. And she's like, what's going on, Apple? And she calls me Apple. And I said, you're going to get mad. And she's like, Apple, no. She's like, please don't. She like touched my arm. She's like, please don't tell me that. She's like, what did you do now? And I said, well, what had happened was, and I said, I did write it up and I put it in your little slip. But before you get mad at me, here's what happened. And so I told her, she was dying laughing. She was like, well, who heard you? And I was like, I told her the name of the student. Yeah. She's like, just keep it between you and I. She's like, Jesus. She's like, I wanted to hit her before. She's like, so in all fairness, she said, at least your anger came out of your mouth and not out of your hands.
Oh, God.
I was just like, oh, my God. See, and this is why it's important to establish that you're not very professional, but you're trying your best.
Yeah.
I think that's great. You for that.
You just got to, like, fly right in the middle of the room. It's got to be tough to have, like, a little kid tell you off.
They are 10 through 12.
Yeah.
And they will read you to filth.
Yes.
They'll be like, what does old bitch want? And you're like, fuck, I can't tell this. I can't fight this kid.
Right, yeah.
I can't fight them.
That's so fucking funny, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you're just like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, they take your heart.
Yeah.
You leave your ego at the door.
Yeah, for real. Especially with middle schoolers.
Especially with middle school girls.
Middle school. Like, what in your brain?
I can't teach little kids.
Really?
Yeah.
What about high school kids?
Oh, hell no.
Really?
No.
Middle school's the best for you think?
I teach elementary. I teach 5th and 6th grade. Ugh. I like them. I like that age group.
Yeah. I think I would do really well with teenagers, like high school kids. I wouldn't have thought that years ago, but now I'm like, I think I actually think I...
See, the thing is, everybody thinks that they can teach, but part of teaching...
I don't think I would, but...
Part of teaching is not just the curriculum.
Sure.
It's classroom management, dude.
Yeah.
And these kids, they will run you through loop. They will make you lose your job. Like, they will do the stupidest shit, like kiss a fucking toilet seat with lipstick on.
Yeah.
And, like, all of that falls on you. So you gotta be the bad guy because you're the only one that can keep the ship afloat.
Yeah.
If you're the cool guy, they will rip you apart.
There's this guy on TikTok. He's a teacher. And he's, like, conventionally attractive guy. Like, a really
I think I know who you're
good-looking, like, young-looking guy. He was just on his honeymoon.
Okay.
And he's
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And he's like... I'm on my honeymoon.
Exactly. He's like the substitute ratted on my kids.
Yeah. And he's like, Tyreek, take care of this class. He's like, Tyreek, you're in charge until I get back. Stop being a snitch, motherfucker. Yeah. And I'm like, it's so true, right? Yeah. Like, there's got to be like a way to get through to them in a way that's like, you're their friend, but also you're the control. And like,
I'm like super kind and sweet. And like, I bring candy for them. And I make every single lesson that I teach, I make it into a game.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking fun. Like, we have fun in my class. Like, the kids love my class. Now, when I have to lay down the law, though, I have to lay down the law.
Yeah, sure.
And I have to be like, nope, if you guys do this, we are staying for detention. You are losing this. You know what I mean? So they know that.
And it makes it worth it.
Yeah, they know that they have boundaries with me.
Sure.
And they know where to push me. You know what I mean? Up to what boundaries they push me. And then when I have a substitute, they're like, oh, she had no class control. Miss Apollonia. None. She couldn't control us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do have like kids that step up and take over and say, no, that's not allowed. Miss Apollonia wouldn't have that. You know what I mean? Or like show them the ropes. And the next day after I'm out, if I've had a substitute, they'll be like, they will tell each other. They will snitch. They will pull me outside. They do that. They're like, can I talk to you outside? And then they rat each other out.
I think you should put in that tattletale phone thing.
What?
I've been seeing this on TikTok, and it's mostly with little kids, but it would be fucking hilarious with your students.
Oh my God.
Where it's like an old-timey look, like phone.
Yes.
And when you pick it up, it records what they say. And they can tell on each other. The one that I saw, it was like, she had like first grade, she literally showed them like, this is record, this is stop. So they would go up and whatever. But there's a way, I'll send one to you.
Oh my God, please.
Where they can literally sit in it and be like, blah, blah, blah said this.
Yes.
And they don't tell you, they tell this. And then the teacher has been playing them on TikTok, and it is fucking hilarious.
I need that.
I'll send you next time I see one. I'll send you one.
I need that because my kids tattle.
And they're funny.
Everything.
They're fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Like, it's so funny.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, you should definitely do that.
Yeah. And I think that this is the end of the laughs.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the end of the laughs.
Cindy, you don't have anything funny to talk about? Damn it.
I'm sorry. If you are not okay, I mean, nobody should be okay with this. But if you can't handle this because this is rough, what I'm about to tell.
I'll see you guys next week. I'll drink my drink now.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Laura.
And I'm Jill.
And we are the hosts of Crime Divers Podcast. We are Scottish sisters who tell each other true crime cases the other hasn't heard of.
New episodes are released every Tuesday, and you can find us on your favourite podcast platform.
So what are you waiting for? Grab your wetsuit and join us as we dive into the world of true crime.
But remember, watch out for those sharks.
Oh, hi. Hello. It's Dom. And along with my co-host Amy, we are the hosts of Horror House, True Crime, and The Macabre. If, like us, you have a morbid curiosity with true crime, the paranormal, cults, and more, then our show may just satisfy your curiosities. We release episodes on Fridays and bonus episodes every other Wednesday. You can listen to us wherever you find your podcasts, and you can also find us on Instagram at horrorhouse_pod. So, all that's left to say is, until next time, my friends, stay spooky.
My sources were TulsaWorld.com. It's the local newspaper.
Yeah.
They covered from start to finish.
Yeah.
They covered the whole shebang. And KTUL.com. It's another news, local news thing. And Wikipedia. I'm going to give you the amazingly lighthearted topic. I mean, it's lighthearted. Familicide.
Love that for us.
So, do you know what family annihilation, the difference between family annihilation and familicide? What the difference is?
Is it usually like family annihilation is like a parent who kills everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
A head of household.
Yeah.
That kills everyone.
Yeah.
And familicide is, any family member, that's
Kills
not the head of
everyone
household.
else. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So.
Look at me. I'm so smart.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat some chocolate.
And this is a knee-slapping subject, right? Mm-hmm. Kidding.
Love that for us.
So today we're going to be discussing cases where teens have unfortunately taken the lives of their entire family.
Fuck.
They have taken that whole family feud and taken it a little too far. This may not sound like the funniest topic, which it's not. I promise you I will try to lighten the mood where I can, and there are very few opportunities for this. Okay? So buckle up, get some popcorn, and let's explore the not-so-funny side of familicide. All right.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. I forgot this was coming out. Oh, boy. All right. Check on those kids. All right. In 2015, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma was a growing city located in the northeastern part of the state. With a population of around 110,000 people, Broken Arrow was the fourth largest city in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah. The city was known for its strong economy with a diverse range of industries, including aerospace, manufacturing, and healthcare. It was also the home to several higher education institutions, including Northeastern State University and Tulsa Community College.
Okay.
In terms of demographics, Broken Arrow was a predominantly white community with a median age of around 36 years old. It's a young college town,
Setting the scene.
Yeah. The city had a strong family-oriented culture with a variety of parks, recreational activities, and community events available for any resident to enjoy. Mm-hmm. Overall, Broken Arrow was a thriving city in 2015 with a strong economy, growing population, and a strong sense of community. Mm-hmm. However, the tragedy of the Broken Arrow murders in July shocked the community and left a lasting impact on its city and its residents. Okay, because although it was a strong community where they encouraged a lot of activities and, getting out and everything, there was a family of 9 living in Broken Arrow who didn't partake in those activities. Okay. So this family was the Bever family.
Okay.
They consisted of David Bever, who was a work-from-home technical consultant with HP, Hewlett-Packard.
Yeah.
He made good money. All right.
Yeah.
So they lived in a nice, nice home, nice large home. April, the mother, was a stay-at-home mom. The two married in 1987 when David was 23 and April was 15. Okay. Together, they had 7 children, and to say that, they were religious. They were a religious couple.
Yeah.
All right. Robert, 18, was the oldest. Next was Michael, 16. Crystal, 13. Daniel, 12. Christopher, 7. Victoria, 5. And Autumn, 2. The Bever family was known to be reclusive, and the children were reportedly homeschooled. So they didn't leave the house ever.
They have no reason. The dad doesn't work. I mean,
he works from home.
Mom doesn't work. She works in the home.
Yeah, but
and all the kids don't go to school, so they're always just.
But they didn't even play. They didn't even play outside, and their home always had the shutters closed, and they almost like if they lived in the dark. And they had a swimming pool they didn't even open.
Really,
they wouldn't even open the swimming pool.
Okay.
So the children didn't socialize with anyone outside the home, but they were allowed to have phones, tablets, and nonstop access to the internet.
Okay.
They were trying to protect their kids from outside social influences.
Yeah.
But they were a tech family, and they wanted to get their kids interested in tech. And that kind of makes sense. If you're a tech family,
dad works for HP,
right? A lot of people that are really tech oriented don't even need college because they, they just learn as they go, right?
Yeah.
So they were trying to do that for their kids. Mom April was a Redditor. She was constantly on Reddit, and doing that, right? And she spent a lot of time on the site, okay?
Yeah.
The oldest 18-year-old Robert had a job at a call center. And that was his only, out of the house.
Yeah.
And he wanted more than anything to be famous.
Interesting.
So he had a little YouTube channel, and he would put little videos on there and stuff like that. The family kept away from strangers and, like I said, rarely left the house. And so they took to each other for companion. The kids, especially, Robert and his younger brother, Michael, were the 2 closest.
Okay.
They would film YouTube content and had a lot of shared interests. So a lot of the videos are between the 2 of them and stuff. So one of the shared interests that they had was a fascination with school shootings. They really, even though Columbine had happened, way before their time, they really looked up to them. They looked up to the guy that shot up the other school, the
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
And the one in Colorado, the one that shot up the movie theater. Those were the people who did shooting sprees and got a high body count. Those were their heroes.
Okay.
And they were interested. Mostly Robert, the older one, was interested in really violent movies, really violent TV, videos, YouTube videos and things like that. And serial killers. He idolized serial killers.
Yeah.
All right. So they were obsessed with spree killers. And like I said, they glorified serial killers. Their fascination being more in terms of body count.
Yeah.
If they heard, that this serial killer had 5 bodies, then this serial killer had 10 bodies. Right. He's he's a god. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they seem to somehow get into the mindset of, even though they Robert literally worked for a call center for religious, pray for me kind of call center where they would pay and they would tell,
annoy people about Jesus.
No. They would like people would pay their hotline for somebody to pray for them during their
Christ.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like you have a crisis happening and you pay to like hear somebody say a prayer for you or whatever, right? So that's what he did.
Get a prayer chain going.
Yeah. So they pay for that.
Great.
So that's what he did. And
I'm making money in the wrong ways, bro.
oh my God, yeah. We should start a prayer chain.
We should start a prayer chain.
Fuck. I'll be like
99 cents a prayer.
Yeah. Oh my God. So,
$2 a blessing.
yeah. They loved the infamy that was brought on these like types of cases, you know what I mean? And the types of killers and
Interesting.
stuff. And they admired the planning that goes behind a spree killing, right? So they decide to follow in those footsteps, but they ran into a snag. They always knew that they had it in them to do it, and the goal was to do that. But being that they were underage, they couldn't go to a gun shop and buy a gun, right?
Yeah.
So they bought knives and other weapons, you know? So the goal was to get a gun. So Michael found out, no, not Michael, Robert, the oldest one, found out that he can order a gun and have it delivered to a gun shop, but he needed a 21-year-old to go pick it up.
Okay.
All right. So that was the plan. They were going to go pick it up. So he bought like 1,000 rounds of ammunition and it was going to be delivered the next day. Okay.
Okay.
They knew that the parents would not be happy to see a gun and all this ammunition. They question it, right?
Yeah.
So they put a plan together, right? So they start a journal and they are over here just fucking adding to their plans on what they're going to do. Now, they admired the killers at schools, right? Like the school shootings.
Yeah.
And they would have done that, except for a little problem.
They're homeschooled.
They're homeschooled, right? So they had no place to like really spree kill in, right? So they dreamed of having a body count. That was one of their goals. Like, you know, you got to have goals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So one of their, you know, vision board.
Jesus
so this
Christ.
journal was like a vision board. And they wanted, the goal was to have a body count of over 50 each.
Fuck.
Right. So, yeah, and they had a goal. They needed to plan things out if this was going to succeed, right? So he and 16-year-old Michael begin journaling a plan. Okay. So 2 months prior to them actually executing the plan.
This is very sad.
Right. So Michael's job at the call center, not Michael, Robert, was this religious thing and everything. But there's like a very big disconnect. He kind of starts to think that like there's nothing valuable to society and that, you know, that the world, there's too many people in the world, like a Thanos kind of mentality, you know what I mean? So he starts to think that. And then he starts to think that that the more people, more lives you take, the closer to godly you are. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting theory.
Yes. So he started to, like I said, get together some protective gear, battle wear, like, you know, Kevlar stuff and, you know, and weapons and ammunition and all that stuff. So you might be saying, damn, how did nobody in that packed ass house realize that these two meatheads were planning something, right?
They live in the basement or something.
The answer is yes. They don't live in the basement, but the answer is yes. People did realize that something was happening.
Good.
Okay. Unfortunately, it was their 13-year-old sister, Crystal, who realized.
No one listens to her.
She kind of overheard the boys talking about how they were going to take 2-year-old Autumn and cut her head off or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
And so she goes to the mom and she's like, Mom, the boys are up to something sinister. And Mom, being a mom, you know, she's like,
not her baby boys,
right? I mean, we see the best in our kids, and she's like, oh, you know, you're making it out to be more serious. They're just boys. They're play battle. You know what I mean? Like they're just playing at that stuff. They're just interested in violence, like all boys are, right? And I'm not victim blaming, but the boys had a huge collection of freaking battle knives and gear,
and like, at what point does it become problematic? Like, everything you're saying, we are a little bit like, right? We're interested in serial killers. We're intrigued by body count. We're intrigued by, like, like, you know, those things stick out for you. Like, my kid has knives. My kid has a fucking sword. He walks around the house like a weirdo. Like,
right.
You know, like, at what point does it become, like, a problem, right?
Right?
Like,
yeah, right? Because, like...
Like, at what point are you like... I mean, if I heard my kid saying that he was going to cut my other kid's head off, like, I would be like, okay, something's fucking wrong here. You know?
Or maybe you would be like sibling rivalry.
It's a baby, though.
Dude, like... I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know. You don't want to think that your child will be standing over your bed in the middle of the night waiting to plunge at you. Like, you just don't imagine that.
And then when your little, like, 4-year-old is standing there, you're like, pow, right in the face when you wake up because they scare the shit out of you.
Right.
Like, creepily standing over you and shit. Imagine if it was, like, an 18-year-old. That would be the worst.
Exactly. So, let me tell you about Wednesday.
Okay.
July 22nd, 2015. This is at around 11:15.
In the morning?
In the evening. I think they had been bowling earlier. The whole family had been bowling.
Oh.
Crystal goes into their room because the mother wants them to go do the dishes before going to bed.
Okay.
To clean the kitchen. So she walks in to tell them that. She sees them getting into their battle gear. She asks them, what are you guys doing, right? Yeah. Michael tells her, hey, come over here, look at this. You know, he looks over to Robert and he says, should we do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the reason why they were doing it now is because the ammunition and the gun and everything was getting delivered the next day.
Okay.
So they knew it was like piss or get off the pot because the parents are going to see all this ammunition and they're going to shut down their plan.
Yeah.
So Michael says to Crystal, come and look at the screen. Come and look at this, right? So
Crystal's the mother or the sister?
Crystal's the sister, the 13-year-old sister.
Yeah, gotcha.
April's the mother.
Okay.
Right? So on the screen was their manifesto. So she's sitting there reading it. Robert comes up behind her and slices her neck.
Ugh.
She starts screaming, and the mother, April, comes in.
Okay.
All right? Now, the boys are, like, continuing to stab Crystal. Mom comes in, starts screaming. She doesn't really realize what's going on. She thinks there's been an accident. And so she's screaming. She's like, call 911, call 911. The boys start attacking her and stabbing her. And as they're stabbing her, Crystal's still alive, so she's running out. And she's running out through the front door, right? So she trips the alarm of the house. The boys, one of the boys grabs her outside, Robert, grabs her outside as she's going to, out.
Trying to escape.
Drags her back in and leaves her by the door to die. As she's running, too, parts of her organs are sticking out of the holes that they've created. Okay, so he leaves her by the door. The dad comes and starts to fight the boys, but they're stabbing him, and like the mother is dead because Crystal can hear her screaming, and the mother is dead.
Yeah.
The other little kids run and they go to hide.
Okay.
So she runs and she makes it outside. She collapses from the blood loss. He drags her back in. The rest of the children scatter. Like I said, at this time that the dad is getting killed and everything, 911 gets a call.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to play this.
Okay.
This will ruin you. So I've warned you. All right? Let me play this call.
Broken Arrow 911. Broken Arrow 911. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, where are you at?
Broken Arrow, Oklahoma 7411.
What address?
709 Magnolia Court.
Okay. Are you the only one there?
No. My brother's attacking my family.
Your dad is attacking your family?
No, my brother. He has a 9-day feeling. Oh, millions of people now.
Okay, who's attacking your family?
What?
Who's attacking your family?
Yes.
Who is it? Do they?
I'll call back.
Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, what's going on there? What's going on there? Hello? Hello?
that was the 911 call that Daniel, 12-year-old Daniel, made from his father's office. He had locked himself in there with the operator. And you can't really hear because it's unclear. Michael, the brother, the 16-year-old, is knocking on the door. And he's locked in, Daniel. So Michael says, he's going to kill me. Open the door. He's going to kill me. And so Daniel opens the door and it was a trap. So the other brother, Robert, was able to kill him. He stabbed the little boy 21 times.
He said his brother.
His brother. Yep. Yeah, and you can hear him say, he was using Michael's cell phone too. You know what I mean? You can hear him say that my brother's attacking my family. So he believes Robert is acting alone. So when he hears his brother Michael asking him to open the door, he doesn't think twice. He wants to help his brother.
Yeah.
The next thing you hear is there are more clear recordings of it, but if you listen to it, Daniel's screaming when he realizes that he's made a mistake. You know what I mean? Daniel, like I said, he is stabbed 21 times to the back, shoulder, and chest. Next, they go to the bathroom where little 7-year-old Christopher and 5-year-old Victoria are hiding. He does the same thing. He knocks on the bathroom door and he says, let me in, he's going to kill me. So the little kids open the door for Michael, and when Michael comes into the bathroom, he stabs Christopher in the shoulder, in the neck, you know, while Robert takes care of Victoria. Jesus Christ. So Christopher, I think he's 6, is killed with 21 stab wounds to the back, chest, shoulder, and lower leg. Victoria is 5 years old. She's stabbed 23 stab wounds to both sides of her neck, her chest, her back, her upper arm. Like, they just annihilated them. So, yeah. So...
And there's a baby, though, right?
And there's a baby, right. So, now, as soon as the phone call is made, the police come.
Of course.
So when they get there, they notice that, like, this is all happening at the same time. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, this isn't just, like, an isolated incident. Yeah. As soon as... little Daniel called, she dispatched them, even though she kept them on the phone.
Yeah, she had hear her.
She had dispatched them. So, and I think neighbors had knocked on the door or something. They heard like the commotion or something. So the boys didn't have time to finish the baby off, so they ran out.
So when the dad is killed?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the police, when they get to the door, they notice that there's like a puddle of blood on the porch. Imagine. And like, you know, drag marks from when, you know, Crystal was trying to escape. So they open the door. They, you know, break open the door. And just inside, they find Crystal, who's moaning, you know, and barely alive. Her throat is slit. Her organs are poking out of her freaking cuts. So they drag her out and rush her to the hospital where she survives.
Fuck.
Yeah. Inside, they find the bodies and a gruesome scene, but no boys. They had escaped out the back door into the woods, right? So police called the canine units to run them out, and it took about 2 hours, and they were able to capture them. They were covered in mud and blood. Robert had a fucking grin on his face. And if you look at the pictures, it is disturbing. Show her the pictures, Cindy.
That's upsetting. Oh, what a fucking... Oh, my God.
Show both of them. Yeah. Like, you can see them, like, coming out of the woods completely covered in blood, like, caked in it. Another thing that they found was their plans, like their manifesto, and the baby sister, Autumn, which was completely unharmed.
Thank God.
Even though in the manifesto, they wanted to cut her head off. They just ran out of time. That's the only reason why they didn't do it. They just ran out of time.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So... Like I said, in their plans, they had a list of goals, right? So they wanted to kill the family, dismember them, put them in storage containers in the attic, take off in the van, and go state to state up from Oklahoma up to Washington State. And at each stop, kill at least 5.
Okay.
Because they wanted a huge body count by the time that they, you know. All right, so...
that's a plan, I guess.
Right, so they wanted to, you know, the death of the family was more like they're in our way.
Yeah.
Dad's not going to allow us to, you know, get these guns.
Yeah.
And to prop their body count.
Right.
To give them a head start of,
Sure.
body count. Daniel, the sacrificed hero, was the one that called 911 and in actually saved Crystal and Autumn's lives.
And literally everybody else that would have been in their path had they gotten out of the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if they would have killed him before he got to the phone.
Exactly.
And they would have got on the road that night.
Yeah. Little Daniel saved so many lives.
Yeah.
Because they were going to do a spree killing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Crystal, because she survived, identified her 2 older brothers as, like, there was irrefutable, Plus, when they were caught, Robert quickly confessed he was so proud of what he had done. Robert and Michael completely confessed, said, "Oh, you want what's on this drive? You want this? You know what I mean? Like
because they're proud of all the planning they put in.
Proud, super proud." Which, Michael, the younger one, he was kind of like, "Well, I didn't really stab anybody. I didn't want to kill anybody, but I was afraid of my older brother.
Yeah, whatever.
He said he was going to kill me regardless if I was on his side, or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like either you're on my side or I'm going to have to kill you."
Says the guy after the fact.
I mean, yeah. So Robert was like, well, I was a little bit terrified. Not Robert. I keep messing them up.
Yeah.
Michael was like, I'm a little bit terrified of Robert. And so that's why I did it.
I mean, he looks scary. They both look scary. They both look scary children, but like...
Yes. Yeah, like children of the corn.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. The brothers are arrested and charged with multiple counts of first-degree murder. In 2016, Robert, who was 18 at the time of the murders, was sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. And this was as a plea bargain because he was going to get the death penalty.
Yeah.
But to save the girls from having to keep coming back, he took the plea deal. He also got 28 additional years for assault and battery with a deadly weapon against Crystal.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So he didn't kill her, but it was assault and battery with a deadly weapon. So he'll spend the rest of his life in prison. On May 10th, after more than 5 hours, May 10th, 2018, I should say, after more than 5 hours of deliberation, the jury finds Michael Bever guilty of killing his parents and 3 young siblings. That's the younger one.
Yeah.
And attempting to kill then 13-year-old sister who survived to become the prosecutor's star witness. The jurors openly cried.
Yeah.
And so did he, and so did Crystal. After he heard the verdict, he fell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he fell to the floor and had to be helped back to his seat. He was 16 at the time of the murders, and he was sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Yeah.
I mean, with the possibility of parole.
Really?
After serving 38 years. As well as an additional 28 years for assault and battery. So, he'll be eligible for parole when he's in his mid-50s, but who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because while he's been in jail, he has been making disturbing crayon drawings in his notebook, in this red composition notebook.
Jesus Christ.
He draws about death and the murders of his family.
Fucking imagine. His brain has got to be fucking steeped in I don't know, fucking toxic
He idolizes his brother.
Of course he
and
does.
They're kept in separate institutions.
Yeah, good.
So he's still drawing these little pictures of, these people that he holds near and dear, like Jim Jones, the cult leader.
God,
and he just really admires these psychopaths,
That's so strange.
Yeah. And in his initial interview, which you can see his whole police interview that night, he says that he only stabbed his brother Christopher 1 time in the neck, but later he admits to being part of the stabbing, multiply stabbing his mother and his little brother, Christopher. In June 17, 2016, Robert Bever attempted suicide in his jail cell.
Okay.
This was right before he was convicted. Yeah, right before, just right around the time that he was convicted. He tried to attempt suicide with his bed sheets.
Perfect.
They saved him. Then he was placed in suicide watch.
Yeah.
But he continued to be a troublemaker. In 2019, July, around the same time that he killed his parents, July 15th this time, he attempted to attack prison staff. They were just in a day room, at a correctional facility, and he came up behind them with a weapon.
Fuck.
And he was attacked, and the weapon was taken from him. He also has tattoos that says his body count, and life without parole on his knuckles or whatever.
That's a lot of
and
letters.
Yeah, LW.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, life without parole. And you know, his body, you know, he's not even a little bit sad.
No, this is a dangerous motherfucker.
Yeah. So the house. Okay. So the mayor, or city councilor, this is Broken Arrow city councilor, and the mayor, the government of Broken Arrow, they wanted to be able to buy the house and the land that it stood on to get rid of the house and make like a park. You know what I mean? Like a memorial park.
And so,
well, you know, so the house in March 18, 2017 burned in a fire. Like nobody knows the cause.
Yeah,
like,
weird.
Yeah, a weird fire.
That's weird.
And on April 9, 2017, they were able to raise $50,000 for to make it into a memorial garden, which they did. They made it into like a playground and like an area for people to come and reflect. And,
really?
Yeah.
I mean, I personally would pass. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
sure. What about the girls?
Oh, well, the girls, they were put in, they had no family. So they were put,
obviously.
they were put into foster care and they were adopted by the same family.
Good.
So, yeah. And little Autumn, like, she was only 2 years old and she was completely unharmed, but, you know, she probably has no memory of that. But I can only imagine poor Crystal, you know?
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. What a nightmare, huh?
Oh, that poor kid. And she was the first one, so she, like, witnessed all of it from beginning to end. Like,
she heard her mother's screams, but she was in and out of consciousness.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
she heard her mother's screams, but not much of anything else.
Good.
Yeah. Wild, huh? Bro, check your kids, man. Check your kids. The internet has some crazy shit on it.
Yeah, man.
Like, my freaking students today came in and they were, like, really upset. Especially one. He has a cat. He has a pet cat. He just loves his cat. And there's a freaking TikTok video that went viral over a guy that was, fucking trigger warning. He put a kitten in a blender.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, and it went viral, and I'm like, they're telling my students are telling me about it. They were like so disturbed, and I was like, you guys watch that? And they're like, yeah, it was disturbing.
I remember like
oh
when the internet was a babe. It really wasn't, but like when Facebook would first, I wasn't even on Facebook yet.
Yeah.
I was like still on MySpace. I was working at this place where I had a lot of access to computer time. Someone had like sent me a video of like, you know, this like Al-Qaeda like beheading. And I like remember like opening it and watching it or whatever, or like, I don't know, however I saw it. And like watching it and be like, that was really horrible. It was a horrible fucking thing to watch. And then like, it's just like there. You know what I mean? Like it's just there. You can just put anything you want into the search bar and you can see it.
Yeah.
Because like people, if you can think it, like someone's doing it.
Right.
You know?
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, it's just bad. That sucks.
Oh my God.
It's so sad. And like, and it does
Little
really,
kids see that.
yeah, like pose the question like, okay, yeah, like watch your kids. Like maybe they were seeing them like, okay, they're a little strange and like we homeschooled them. So of course they're going to be a little weird. And like,
right.
I'm not saying homeschool kids are weird, but like when you isolate people from other people and all you give them is the fucking internet.
The worst socialization.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Right? Like, I didn't get that. I was like, how are you protecting your kids from society and then giving them society?
Yeah, I mean,
like, here's certainly your choice of society.
If you were going to keep your kids, like, that's the thing, like, when you see these...
fundamentalists?
Yeah, well, you see these kids that are, like, adults now who are, like, broke away from their family and they're, like, you know, ex-Mormons or ex-whatever the fuck they are. And they were homeschooled and they weren't allowed to... They didn't have TV. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have any of those things. Like, if you want to isolate your kid, you certainly wouldn't give them the fucking internet.
Not the internet.
They won't even give them... most of them don't even let them watch TV.
Right.
Because, like, you see, like, Americanized... or anything. Any type of, like... Unless it's, like, PBS. And even then, like, Sesame Street's pretty inclusive. Like, you know what I mean? So...
Yeah. And it's not on PBS anymore.
Well, right. But, I mean, you know, back then...
Yeah, but, like... it made no sense.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're going to isolate your kids from the neighborhood kids, and from school because they might get
but the parents
influenced.
are techie, you know what I mean? So, like, if they're into it, they're like, they're only... God.
So anyway, during the trial, because people were just like, but why though? Like, why are you this messed up, right? And I think even Crystal alleged some abuse, you know, like saying that the father would throw them and hit the wife, and that they were neglected and underfed because mom didn't cook, and they were like basically raised on cup of noodle, and you know what I mean? So
they look underfed, certainly.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe the parents had a little bit of issues themselves, but my God.
I mean, you're talking about a 14-year-old girl.
15.
The mom, I'm saying.
Yeah, 15.
15-year-old girl.
When she got married. Yeah.
Who then proceeded to have baby after baby after baby.
Right.
Like, what the fuck does she know about being a grown-up or, like, you know, whatever. Like, and if they don't have extended family helping them or whatever, like...
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, that's a
so
recipe for disaster.
Right. But it doesn't happen in every family.
No, certainly not. I mean? No.
And I mean, I don't know enough about their background that I could say that they were bad parents or anything like that, because like there was no reporting of you know, abuse or anything like that.
You know, you see, I don't remember which kid it is, but one of the parents from the Columbine shooting.
Right.
She's really active. One of the moms.
Okay.
She's really active. Like initially when the kids first, you know, the shooting happened.
Right.
And the kids first, you know, it figured out who they were, and both parents were like, no, definitely not.
Right.
And then very quickly, the one mom was like, well, I had him in, you know, therapy, and I had him in this, and I really tried, and I really tried, and I really tried. And she talks, like, she has a TED Talk, and she, like, has all these things about, you know, she wrote a book and whatever. And she's, like, really come to terms with, like, her, I don't know if the word is responsibility. I guess it must be. Like, her weight in the whole situation and like what, you know, guilt that she has or like what she was responsible for. She's really fascinating to listen to because
what's her stance on it?
She says like, I made these mistakes or I should have done this differently, and also my son was really unwell. Like, you know, there was the other kids' parents are like, they stay out of, they're like, you know, they still are just like, they're embarrassed, but this mom really like, she has befriended lots of other parents of victims of school shooters, and she really is like out there. Really, I think she's got a fascinating story. There's a couple of really great podcasts where she like is interviewed. There's like a Columbine podcast where one of the students like goes back to the high school, and she talks to other students that she graduated with. She was there that day. Her friends were killed, and she talks to the mom on the pod. And it's just, it's interesting because like, she was just a regular mom in Colorado, right? Like, just a regular person. So it's like this mom that got killed that like, you know, maybe she wasn't doing anything wrong. Maybe she wasn't being abusive. Maybe the dad was abusive. Maybe he wasn't. Like, who's to say? Right. You know, but like what?
And there's plenty of people that grow up getting beat by their parents that don't
don't kill everybody. Yeah.
You know, so what's
actually most of the people.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
What's the switch? You know what I mean? Like, at what point do you say, ooh, this kettle's about to boil over?
Yeah. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the part that like is interesting to me, where like the way you're describing these boys and their fascination, like literally every person that listens to this podcast
has
the same sort of fascination. Like, at what point does it become problematic?
Right.
Like, at what point is someone else looking in and being like, that's weird.
Right.
You know? And there is a point, right? Like, there does come a point, because the people listening to this podcast are not going to go shoot up. Hopefully.
No, but like people who listen to true crime, like I do, like you do, like, you know, Cindy does. It's not in fascination and in honor of the person. It's almost like, how the fuck could a person where?
But some people do though.
I get that.
You know?
I get that. There's some creepy people out there that are just like fascinated about that. But I feel like those people that don't cringe when you hear about animal being abused.
Yeah, right.
That don't cringe are the ones that would take that extra step. That would cross that line.
Yeah, because for me, it's always like, I know you've said in the past, like, oh, for me, it's like, how do I protect myself against this? Or how do I
see the signals? How do I spot a person?
For me, it's always been like, what is broken? Like, what happened there?
Yeah.
That's the part that always kind of fascinates me.
Right.
Like, how do you flip from You know, where's that line? Like, where is that line? That's interesting
Right?
to me, where you're like, okay, we all think about death, right? We all think about crime or murder.
Right.
Or like,
and we all think about like,
Sure.
if jail didn't exist, you'd be gone.
Sure, yeah. Right. And so it's like, for me, it's always been like that like the criminality behind, like that mental, like, what is it? Like, what's making you be that way? I find that so fascinating.
Right.
But I get both sides of it, but like, yeah, it is interesting to me. Like,
and even I think that's like a spectrum. I think it's like a spectrum.
Sure, yeah.
Because some people who wouldn't harm a fly would kill for their loved ones.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there are no binaries, right? Like in nature, in anywhere, there are no fucking binaries. So like, at some point it flips, right? Like at some point, it's just, that is so, that's so interesting.
It's such a opposite of humanity.
Yeah.
It's so anti-humanity.
Yeah.
To want to do harm to another person.
Yeah.
And then even then, there are people that will do harm to a person. I would do harm to a person before I do harm to an innocent animal.
Yeah. Lots of people
before
feel
I
that
torture
way.
an animal,
Lots
I would
of
do
people
harm
feel
to a
that way.
person. You know what I'm saying? Even though I wouldn't do harm to a person.
Sure.
But push came to shove.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I just can't. I can't wrap my brain around.
Yeah.
You know, I can wrap my brain around somebody snapping and killing, you know, and taking someone's life. I can wrap my brain around that.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my brain around
when they do it to a dog or
an
something.
innocent animal.
Right.
I can't, especially like in that sense. You know, that my students are saying.
Right. Yes. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Like I just can't. Like
it's like that. Don't fuck with cats.
Yes,
like that whole
oh
thing.
my god,
like, the fuck. Bro.
I think they arrested the guy. I think they caught him. I think people got together and did that whole interweb thing and caught the person.
Yeah, they did. He killed a person. So yeah.
No, not Luca Magnotta. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the new one.
The one she was talking about.
Yeah. But I was so disturbed. My one student was crying.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my story. That's my story. Check on your kids. Just, I don't know.
Hug them.
Hug them, and like, don't let them be on the internet, man.
Good luck, bro. Good luck.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Like, stop letting your kid run off with a tablet all day or with your phone all day. Come on, man. Like, do better. Be a better parent.
It's hard though, because like, it is what our society is.
Pick up a book. Hide the iPad.
Yeah, but it's not really like you can do that.
Why not?
Because like how much of the kids all of their schoolwork is on fucking computers, is on tablets. Like we're beyond that. We're beyond pick up a book at that point.
I don't know. We got to do better. We're beyond. They're seeing shit on there that
certainly.
Yeah, they're seeing shit on there.
You know, it's really more what it probably, in my opinion, boils down to is like staying fucking connected with your kid and being like, hey, like that shit is out there, but like this is why it's bad. This is why it's wrong. And like showing them empathy and showing them like.
Yeah. You know, when David was 7 years old, he was shown a beheading.
Fuck.
By another little kid at a baseball tournament. And I fucking flipped.
Yeah.
I flipped. But I had to, my son was terrified of what he had just seen.
When Gage was 7 on Mother's Day, my dad was watching him because I was at work. And he Googled the word boobs on my dad's computer.
And he got to see some titties?
Yeah. And my dad was like, you know, he went back in the search history because he said like, he was like, he could tell he was looking at something because of course Gage like quick. Like X'd it out or whatever. And so my dad went back in the search history because of course Gage didn't know about search history.
Right.
And he was like, bro. Like,
what was he looking at?
I think he was just click, 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 click. All he was 7. He knew how to spell the word boobs.
Right.
And he was like, my dad was like, bro, he like was like 70 pages in. So like,
oh my God.
It's like, I was like, oh shit. So I had to be like, on Mother's Day after church, because my dad took him to church that morning. I'm like, fuck, dude. I had to go home and like talk to my kid about like porn and like whatever. And he was like 7 years old. I'm like, the fucking internet, bro. My dad just thought that was so funny.
Oh,
he was tickled by that. I'm like, I'm so glad you think that's so funny. I'm gonna go home and remind Gage about that.
You'll love
Remember when you ruined Mother's Day 10 years ago? 12 years ago?
Really love that. Anywho, that's it for us, and hopefully we'll see you next week. We didn't turn you off to us.
Yeah, please and thank you.
Yeah. In the meantime, you can subscribe so you don't miss out. We have merch, we have Patreon, we have Buy Me a Coffee. But the best way to help us is if you write a review, 5 stars, please, and share it with someone. Share this podcast with someone. You can connect with us.
Make your review a haiku. Like, be creative.
There you go.
Give
this
me
is
a
your
little
homework.
something.
A little haiku.
A little haiku for me.
You can connect with us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. I mean, everywhere. We're everywhere. Check you out next week. And remember, do not get taken to the second location. Be good or be good at hiding a body. Cheers.
Cheers.
Are you okay?
Jesus Christ. You're so fucking loud. You're disgusting and I hate you both.